There are 4 steps that you must use to develop persistence. 4 steps that you must use to develop persistence. Do you know what those steps are? Hi, my name is Ann McNeill, and I am the Master Wealth Builder, helping you to build a stronger business and life with Ann's wonderful words of wisdom and the McNeill Factor Insights from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We're talking about your persistence toward your desire. Do you know the 4 steps that you must use to develop persistence? Do you have a reason to know the 4 steps? What will you do with the steps if you don't have something you're aspiring or striving toward by which to persist? Well, step number 1 is you must have a definite purpose, and that purpose must be backed by desire. That's step number 1. For example, in the book, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, Edwin Barnes had a burning desire and a definite purpose to become a business associate of Mr. Edison. What is your burning desire? You see, he persisted. Napoleon Hill, when he was asked by Andrew Carnegie to take 20 years of his life, he had a burning desire and a definite purpose, and it took him 20 years. What is your definite purpose, and do you have a burning desire? Step number 2, you must have a definite plan. You see, Barnes had a plan, and his plans was without money, without connections, and without that hookup. His plan was to take a freight train, jumped on the back of a train, and he went to Edison's laboratory, took a job as a menial hire, cleaning up, sweeping the floor. Are you willing to do whatever you need to do as long as it's legal, ethical, and moral with your plan towards your desire? Napoleon Hill developed a plan of action to interview over 500 people who were successful, but many more than that who were unsuccessful to develop this philosophy. What's your plan? What's your desire? Number 3, you must have a closed mind against all the negative and discouraging influences, and that's family, friends, and coworkers. You see, Barnes came up against a lot of negative. The other salesmen, his family, his friends, and even Edison. It took him years. See, when we read the Barnes story, we think all of a sudden he just showed up and he started sweeping the floor and then all of a sudden it happened. No, it took him years. Are you willing? Are you willing to have a closed mind for years against all the negative influences that will encourage you to persist, or will you give up? Napoleon Hill, faced with his son being born without ears, destitute, poverty, Hill did not have it made. No, he did not. And even toward the end of his life, when we read his story, we learn that Clement Stone was his financier. Yes, it's true. Check it out. What about you? What is your burning desire? What is your definite plan? Do you have a mind closed against all the negative? Hill's family and friends told him he was crazy not to put his son in the school for the deaf of hearing. He said, I'm not going to do it. They said to him, who do you think you are to develop a philosophy for success? You're nothing. You've come from nothing. You'll be nothing like your family. But he persisted. What are the naysayers saying to you? Or maybe you are the naysayer saying to yourself, you can't do this. Who do you think you are? But your burning desire will pull you through. It will pull you through to pull you to the next step and the next step. Number 4, a friendly alliance with one or more people. That's called a mastermind group. Who's holding you accountable towards your goals? You see, eventually, Barnes had Edison. Eventually, Napoleon Hill, through the philosophy, had many, many, many people who were a part of his mastermind group eventually. But in the very beginning, he shares his only mastermind group was his mom, stepmom at that, and Andrew Carnegie. That was his mastermind group. Those were the people holding him accountable toward the positive. He didn't say it was his brother. He didn't say it was his dad. He didn't say it was anybody else. Who's holding you accountable toward your goals? You see, we're talking about the power of persistence, but your power of persistence, along with these 4 steps, are only as important as the strength of your desire. What is it that you desire? Who is it that you desire? Who do you want to become? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? That's what you must decide. You see, and until you decide exactly what you want with great clarity, the rest is not going to happen. The universe is waiting for you to decide. And once you decide, the universe shows up in a phenomenal way. But will you show up if you persist until you succeed with a spirit of excellence? These 4 steps are essential for success in all walks of life, Napoleon Hill says. The entire purpose of this 13 principles of this philosophy is to enable you to take the 4 steps as a matter of habit. And I am reminded of the first scroll from the book, The Greatest Salesman. I will develop great habits and become their slave. Will you become a slave of good habits? It's up to you. You decide. These are the steps that lead to freedom and independence of thought. These are the steps that lead to riches in small and great quantities. These are the steps that create a way to power, to fame, and to worldly recognition, if that's your desire. These are the steps that guarantee favorable breaks. You're not going to wait for the break. You're going to create the break for yourself by being persistent. These are the steps that convert dreams into physical realities. They lead also to the mastery of fear, discouragement, and indifference. Again, my name is Ann McNeil, and I am the Master Wealth Builder. And if you are struggling with finding clarity, if you are struggling with finding a desire, if you are struggling with lack of money and lack of time, then connect with me on all the social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. But let's have a conversation for clarity purposes and to help you to discover your greatest desires. Again, my name is Ann McNeil, and I am the Master Builder, helping you to build a wealthier business and life with my MCNEILL Factor Insights. You can connect, and I will, yes, as always, thank you for continuing to think and grow richer with me. But I will see you tomorrow. Yes, I will.